Okay, so my topic is about abortion, and before I get all these sides, I know abortion's overplayed and too many debates about it, but I'm not going to be talking pro-life, pro-choice. I'm going to be talking about women's health. Okay, so my proposition is that abortion is harmful to women. Before I get into that, let me just define a few things. I know these are going to be like really simplistic, but this is just in case you guys don't know. Obviously, abortion is the act of terminating a pregnancy. Fallopian tubes are the tubes inside a woman's body that release the egg, and that's normally where the fertilization occurs. Hemorrhage is severe bleeding. Aspiration is the process of removing the leftover tissue from the uterus after an abortion. And of course, the fetus is the unborn baby. Okay, so I have two major supporting claims, which are, the first one is many complications can arise during the abortion, and my second one is that abortion can lead to psychological problems in women. So if you guys didn't know, an abortion happens about every 26 seconds, okay? So an abortion can lead to an infection, hemorrhage, or both. If the mother has gonorrhea, syphilis, or chlamydia, she could get a serious infection in her fallopian tubes. And in some cases, hemorrhage can be heavy enough to require treatment. This treatment could be medicine to help the uterus contract, a repeat aspiration, or even surgery. When a heavy hemorrhage occurs, there is a possibility that a woman would need a blood transfusion. Okay, so another thing that could happen is that the attempt to abort a fetus could be unsuccessful, in which case a woman would need to go through another abortion. The failed abortion can cause an adverse effect to the normal development of a fetus. Therefore, if she decided after the failed abortion that she wanted to keep the baby for some reason, she would not be able to do that because she wouldn't have a normal pregnancy. Blood clots could form in the uterus, which would lead to severe cramping. And the treatment is a repeat uterine evacuation, which I believe is the same thing as an aspiration. Okay, so if a doctor is not careful when he's performing the abortion, he could puncture the wall of a woman's uterus, which would result in hospitalization to observe her, and possibly even to complete the abortion if it was not completed. If it's bad enough, a surgery would have to be done to repair the damage. In rare cases, a hysterectomy, which is the removal of the uterus, is performed. This procedure makes it impossible for a woman to have children in the future. So, also during the abortion, a woman could go into cardiac arrest, which is usually due to an adverse reaction to the anesthesia. In rare occasions, complications that arise during an abortion can lead to death. So most of these I found were about a 1 in 1,000 chance. But if there are 3,322 abortions that occur every day according to the Guttmacher Institute. So you could easily be the next 1 in 1,000. Okay, so my second supporting claim is that abortion can lead to psychological problems in women. Many studies have been done to see if there's a correlation between abortion and depression. In these studies, the result is often that the women who had an abortion is much more likely to become depressed than those women who have not. Women often become stressed after an abortion, and in severe cases, women may become so distressed that they may harm themselves, sometimes leading to suicide attempts. Okay, so there was a study that was done by It's called the Christ Church Health and Development Study, where 1,265 children were tracked since their birth in the 1970s. So according to Stephen Ertelds from thelifenews.com, he's the editor, about 41% of the 500 women in the study became pregnant by the age of 25 and 90. 90 of those women had abortions. Some 42% of the women who had abortions had experienced major depression within the last 4 years. And according to this study, women who have abortions were twice as likely to drink alcohol at dangerous levels and 3 times as likely to be addicted to illegal drugs. So in conclusion, my proposition is that abortion is harmful to women because there can be several complications that arise during abortion, and even though they do have a 1 in 1,000 chance, I mean, there's over 3,000 abortions that happen per day. And and my second supporting claim was that abortion can lead to psychological problems in women, such as depression or self-harm. That's it.
All right, Mary, at the beginning of the speech, it sounds like you're apologizing for your topic. You're apologizing for the claims that you're making. I don't think you need to do that. Just make the claim and tell us what your argument is. I thought that when you finally got to it, it says it's harmful to women. That's fine. It's harmful. There are risks involved with having an abortion, and that there's potential depression or psychological problems that occur from having an abortion. That part's pretty good. So that's your argument. Stick to that. That's fine. Now, I do think on the first point that all you've done is list all of the risk factors that would go with any medical procedure. In this particular case, you list the risk factors of abortion. There's no way to evaluate that risk except at the end you say, well, it could happen in 1 in 1,000 cases. Well, is that greater than any other surgery? Is it greater than the harms that might occur from giving birth, for instance? Nobody is going to deny that there are risks in a surgery. All surgeries carry with them risks. The question is are these risks excessive? Do they occur on a regular basis? Do they occur more frequently if women have multiple abortions, for instance? Are they long-term harms? Some of them just sound like, oh my gosh, you might have to have a transfusion if you have a hemorrhage during your surgery. That's true if I get my tooth pulled. But how likely is it? How dangerous is it? To me, it's just an inventory of. It sounds like you're reading the insert on the drug label. That you get. It's possible that you will get X, Y, Z, Q, R, and S if you take this medication. But that's not an argument. That's just description of stuff that's available. Now, the second point, I think, does make an argument that says that women have abortions have a higher risk of psychological problems. And here, you make a reference to many studies, but you only cite one study. And I think that the study that you cite is pretty good, but I think you need more information on that to make it much of an argument. If I was going to make this speech again, I'd bail out on the first point because it just doesn't seem like it's making much of an inference. It's just describing something that's true. Nobody's going to deny that that's true. All right? The second point is where there's controversy, and you need to develop that a lot more. Right now you've just got the one study, but is depression the only thing that's involved? You can make the argument that says depression and nightmares are long-term problems. Fear, suicides are long-term problems. That people are less likely to attach to the children that they subsequently do have. Those are particular problems. And then find evidence to support each of those points. That point, I think, there's probably some controversy on, and there's a lot of research on those points that would allow you to make an argument there. All right, thank you very much. Let me remind everybody that Monday